150cc Kawasaki dirt bike sitting in the garage. That garage and that bike represented freedom. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello. At A1 Garage Door Service, we know your garage holds more than tools. It holds dreams. From repairs to upgrades, call A1 Garage Door Service today or schedule online at a1garage.com.
A1 from day one.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
A happy Monday to you here on the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert, producer Evan, hanging out with you here today on the show. It's draft week. The Suns are in a playoff series. Diamondbacks won another series over the weekend. A lot for us to do here over the next 2 hours. Producer Evan, how are you today? How was the weekend? Good, bad, indifferent?
Weekend was good. It started off great. It may have been a tough finish yesterday with things going poorly for the Suns, but a good weekend overall.
It wasn't just the Suns that it went poorly for yesterday. It was also a bad day
for the D-backs.
For the D-backs, which we'll get to that here in just a little bit. But yeah, let's start with the Phoenix Suns. The last time we were all here together, we were wondering if they were going to even be in the postseason. They beat the Golden State Warriors on Friday. They got the 8th and final spot in the Western Conference playoffs. Game 1 yesterday against Oklahoma City. It didn't go so well.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
Outmatched. Very outmatched. That's the takeaway from the Game 1 loss for the Phoenix Suns against the Oklahoma City Thunder. They looked like a team that didn't belong in a series with Oklahoma City. They looked like a team that was very behind the defending NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder. And when you make the amount of mistakes that the Suns made yesterday against Oklahoma City, you're asking for trouble. You're asking to get blown out the way the Suns were yesterday. What was the final score of this one? 119-84. A 35-point loss in Game 1 of the postseason, and a game that maybe has us asking more questions than us having answers. But I just keep going back to they looked overmatched yesterday. And they looked like a team that if they are going to fall behind Oklahoma City, they don't stand a chance. Basketball is a game of runs, so sometimes a team can get out to a hot start against you and you're able to claw your way back into a game. And we've seen the Suns do this all throughout the regular season. A slow start does not mean game over for them. It means game over for them against Oklahoma City. Because they don't have the size to get back into the game by grabbing those rebounds, gaining those extra possessions. Because you dig yourself an early hole, 15, 20 points, you're going to need extra possessions. You're not going to shoot your way back into the game. You're going to need to steal possessions. You're going to need to gain extra possessions off of a miss. Hey, we miss a shot. We get an offensive rebound. We get to restart. We get to try to take advantage of another possession, right? An extra possession. They don't have the size to do that. They got destroyed at the paint in yesterday's game. They don't have the bench scoring to climb back into a game. They don't have the guys. They don't have the second unit to take advantage of maybe Oklahoma City and their stars being out. They're not going to win that battle. And right now, they don't have the star power to get back into a series. They don't have a superstar or a star that you feel 100% trustworthy in to lead them back into a game, right? You're not sure about Devin Booker. What was our framing of the game on Friday? that it was a legacy game for Devin Booker. Now, a lot has happened between Friday and today, so we're not actually going to get to do this, but Devin Booker's not the reason they won the game on Friday. Jalen Green, if we're going to single one player out, is the reason they won the game on Friday. So I think we're still a little uneasy with Devin Booker and just how much of a star/superstar he actually is. And while Jalen Green played out of his mind on Friday, are we there yet with a young player that didn't play a whole lot this season, that is still new to this system, that is still growing and developing as an NBA player? Is that the guy that you think every single time is going to be able to claw you back into a game? If the Suns go down double digits against Oklahoma City, it's basically over. They're not built for this against this team. They can't turn the ball over 17 times and expect to beat Oklahoma City. They cannot give the game away to Oklahoma City because Oklahoma City is the type of team that will say, thank you very much, can we have another? They're not going to slip when given that chance. And that's what you did yesterday if you're the Phoenix Suns. You turned the ball over too much. You played sloppy. You didn't knock down shots. And Oklahoma City took full advantage of you. You didn't have Mark Williams. You didn't have Grayson Allen. So that's gonna limit you. You're not built to have those two guys on the shelf for a playoff series against Oklahoma City. So you're shorthanded. I don't think you have the size to compete with Oklahoma City. I don't think you have the bench scoring to compete with Oklahoma City. I don't think you have the superstars to compete with Oklahoma City. And oh, by the way, Jordan Goodwin leaves this game as well after just 5 minutes. So I think you're just running out of guys. And so I wouldn't be surprised if game 2 looks the same as game 1. I would not be surprised. Right now, I think before this, we thought, could they compete with San Antonio, right? Could they take San Antonio to 6? If they ended up playing Oklahoma City, could they win a game? Could they make it a gentleman's sweep? I think right now, if I had to put odds on it, it's way more likely that this team gets swept and Oklahoma City very comfortably sweeps them. Compare this to what, and I don't know how many of you watched it yesterday, but compare it to what Orlando did to Detroit. Orlando as an 8 seed, what they were able to do to Detroit in their game 1 upset win over Detroit. To take a 1-0 series lead, the 8 seed, Orlando. Same situation as the Suns, had to play in the play-in, got in. They won their game against the 1 seed. You don't feel like the Suns can win a game right now. No. From what you saw last week against Portland, yeah, they beat Golden State. But from what you saw yesterday, do you feel comfortable saying this team's going to win a game in this series? They looked so outmatched. And that's okay. Remember, the Suns are ahead of schedule here. And we're going to talk today about what this series actually should be about. Because I don't think anybody thought they were going to win this series against Oklahoma City. That doesn't mean it can't be very important and very valuable information for the summer and the years beyond for Jordan Ott. And so it's okay that they're not going to win a game as long as they learn from it. But I don't know how you watch what you saw yesterday and say, oh, yeah, the Suns are going to win a game in this series. You can't feel that way.
No.
They were overmatched yesterday.
They were completely overmatched. And what about yesterday would show you that this team can win a game? What about the last month and a half would show you that this team can compete with Oklahoma City? I have never felt more. This is going to sound so wrong because you're right. The Suns are ahead of schedule. Going into a single series, a fan of any team, I've never felt worse coming out of a game 1 than I did the Suns yesterday.
Okay,
it's different parameters, but never. It's different in sports because in the NBA, the first round is at times laughable in some of these series because it's top heavy a little.
Well, it's interesting that you frame it that way. Nothing about yesterday surprised me.
No.
Nothing about yesterday was out of character from what we've seen for the Phoenix Suns over the last couple of weeks. I mean, just a reminder, and we can check this. I believe the Phoenix Suns were 17.5-point underdogs yesterday to Oklahoma City.
15.
So that's what it's supposed to look like. When you're 15+ point underdogs in a game 1, it's supposed to look that sideways. So nothing about yesterday surprised me. Nothing about yesterday floored me. Nothing about yesterday I don't want to say it didn't disappoint me. It is disappointing to watch the team that we've been, following all season long and rooting for, and it's been so much fun, and this has been a fun ride. Yesterday probably was your first signal of, boy, this is going to end, and this is going to end quickly, and this season is over. But I think you felt that going into Friday after they lost to Portland that it could have ended before it even actually got started. And they win on Friday. They get this series against Oklahoma City, and I don't know, the next 2 days, I just thought, can they just be competitive against Oklahoma City? Now, they weren't competitive yesterday, so the answer to that is no. But if they get swept by Oklahoma City, it's not going to change how I feel. It's not going to change what they need to do moving forward. And so that's why it's weird, because obviously your team makes the postseason. You want them to win. You want them to go as far as they can. But the credit that I will give to this fan base isn't naive. This fan base isn't, head in the clouds. They understand they're going up against the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder. They know that they haven't been playing good basketball over the last month and a half. They know that this is a complete mismatch. They know that they are ahead of schedule. And I don't think there's anybody out there that said, the Suns are going to upset Oklahoma City. Everybody is taking this series for what it is. And hopefully, even if it is a sweep, the Suns take what they need to take from this. That's where your worry can come in. Are they going to learn from this? Is Jordan not going to learn from what occurs game to game to game in this series? In game 2, does he show an ability to adjust, even if it doesn't work, even if it leads to another blowout? If you can see it, that there's an adjustment, that you can see it, that we're going to play some of these rookies to get them valuable minutes and valuable opportunities and playoff experience. If he shows you, okay, I got my head handed to me. I got my butt kicked in game 1 by the defending champs. I may be going down, but I'm going down swinging. If you see that from this team, then it's okay. But if you don't, if it's just smacking your head against the wall and we're going to do the same stuff every single time out on the floor, then yeah, I think you have every right to be frustrated and annoyed with being swept. But if they go down swinging and they go down trying stuff and they fight to the last whistle, you just tip your cap and you say, hey, we're not there yet. We're not on that level. We're trying to get there. And this is us finding out how close or far away we are from that level.
It's a good test.
They looked very outmatched yesterday.
And you texted me at some point during the game that this, no matter how poorly it goes in 4 games, it does have purpose to be here.
Yes, as long as it's used correctly, right? I mean, there is value to what this series can be for the Phoenix Suns, as long as it's, even in a sweep, as long as it's used correctly, and we see young players like Rasheer Fleming and Kamal Malawach, and I still think this is important for Jalen Green. It's important for Book. It's very important for Jordan Ott. I mean, there is value to come from this. And, you and I were having a back and forth yesterday while the game was going on. And I just said to you at one point, I just don't trust this team right now once they dig themselves a hole to come back. That if they're going to pull off the upset, if they're going to win a game in this series, if they're going to make Oklahoma City have to go to 5, that it's going to require them just coming out of the gates just blazing hot, just knocking down a bunch of shots, them creating turnovers and immediately turning those into buckets. And the start we saw against Houston a couple of weeks ago, they start like that in a game. That's the only path I see to them winning a game in this series. Because as I said, no size to get back into a game. And they're not using the size that they do have. They don't have a bench to get themselves back in. And do you trust the stars? And I look at Devin Booker, Jalen Green, and if you want to throw Dylan Brooks in there, you can. Do you trust those 3 to take over a game and will the team back? Right now, I don't. Jalen Green, young, inexperienced. It's been an up and down year from him health-wise. Dylan Brooks, do I want him to be the star that needs to take over a game? That feels like it could be a recipe for disaster. And Booker, I watched a dude on Friday kind of hide. Like I watched a dude on Friday kind of defer responsibilities in a must-win game to Jalen Green.
Yeah, felt like he hit from the moment.
So do I really have that box that I can lean on? No. And so I just don't think they have the recipe to win a game in this series. They looked outmatched. And by the way, they're supposed to be. They're the 8 seed. That's the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder, who did it again this year in terms of how good they looked. You're not that. You're trying to be that. You're not that. And hopefully what you learn from this is, how do we become that? What do we need to do to be that next year, the year after? That's where it becomes a learning experience. Take from this series, how do we close the gap and become that, or at least our version of that? But yeah, the Suns look outmatched. It should not surprise anybody. You've been watching this team play all season. You've been watching this team play the last month and a half. You watched this team play Portland last week. And I will tell you, there was part of me that was watching Portland, San Antonio going, boy, I would rather be watching the Suns play San Antonio right now. There was this brief moment of, boy, I would much rather be watching the Suns take on San Antonio right now.
Yeah, I don't know who watched that game and didn't feel that way. Because, yeah, San Antonio won and won pretty handedly. Just, you're watching that game and you feel, wow, I'd much rather play them than Oklahoma City. I'm watching Oklahoma City and I'm thinking, back to back. We're going to run away with this thing.
Right, especially with the way they played.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you can sit down and watch Oklahoma City play right now and not think they're going back to back.
Yeah, so, and I've kind of been seeing it on social media. There isn't really this, frustration or upset that they lost, because I think everybody understands what the series is going to be, what it looked like on paper. But I think that it's easy to say that right now after game one. Let's see if they show the adjustments and they show that they are learning as the series goes on.
Yeah, I want to see fight.
Exactly. You want to see fight. And at the end of the day, when this series is over, if you can say, hey, the Suns fought, the Suns tried different things, it feels like they're not completely stubborn, that they're at least trying stuff after what happened in game one, then I think you can say, okay, they learned from this, and now they'll spend the entire summer working on how do we make that better? How do we turn ourselves into Oklahoma City? But yeah, they didn't play well yesterday. And I think, I'll say this, I think the Suns can play better as a team, but I just don't know if it's enough. Like, the Suns can play better than they played yesterday. I still think they lose by double digits to Oklahoma City.
I think that's fair to say. I think it's very fair to say.
And so maybe we see what it looks like if they can play a more cleaner game themselves, but I still think they're miles behind Oklahoma City.
You watch right now, and I don't know how you don't get that.
Yeah. And so when do they play next? Wednesday? Who can we talk to about this? 2 days off in between games? They're not going anywhere. They're not traveling. Where are we going?
I don't really. I've never understood this. I have a problem. The NBA and the NHL does this. The first round shouldn't be 7 games.
You want it to be 5?
I want it to be 5, like it used to be. And then my bigger issue is, why are they taking 2 days off? No travel.
Well, how about this?
Why are we trying to elongate this playoff?
How about this? Game 1 yesterday, game 2 Wednesday, game 3 would be Saturday. So then 2 more days off. But then game 4 is Sunday. We don't have to do this. We don't have to structure it this way.
Why is it just not every other day? Travel day, no travel day, does not matter. Should be every other day.
If they played Tuesday, they could play Thursday in Phoenix, Saturday in Phoenix, and have a day off in between. And then game 5 could be Monday in Oklahoma City.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't know. The schedule
should just be every other day.
It's very weird.
Notice how the NHL is doing it. It's just every other day.
Yeah, and so Suns back in action on Wednesday, so we'll get you ready for that on Wednesday, what they have to do differently if they are going to be more competitive against Oklahoma City. We'd love to hear from you today on this. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us on the show. You can also chat away with us live over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream, where we've got the video version of the show. When we come back, it was, yes, another series win for the Arizona Diamondbacks, but I do have some concerns coming out of this series. I'll share one of them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Tom Izzo, Michigan State head basketball coach.
I've had more than a couple job offers in the NBA and looked at one last year with Phoenix, and my former player, Matt Ispia, and that was hard. That was a hard thing to turn down because, number one, I kind of wanted to go with him. Number two,
so they offered you the head coaching job?
Well, we talked seriously about it, let's say that.
Weekdays, 6 to 9 a.m. on KDUS AM 1060.
Beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority bookings by calling our heroes over at Zero Res. Hey, it's Audrey. I have personal experience with Zero Res. They came in and completely made my home smell way more fresh than it did. And it's not because I smell funky. It's because, I've got pets, and I had family over during the holidays, so we'll blame it on them. And they came and completely helped change my winter blues into springtime cleans. Zero Res removes all of that winter buildup and lingering odors, giving your home a fresh, spring-ready feel, preparing your home for the brighter days ahead. And don't forget about your air ducts, because they are the lungs of your home. And if they're dirty, your indoor air quality is going to suffer. This month, get 3 rooms Zero Resified from Phoenix's #1 carpet cleaner, starting at just $129. And whenever you mention KDUS, receive a free hallway cleaning and take $75 off your air duct cleanings. Call Zero Res right now at 480-507-2419 or go online at ZeroResPhoenix.com and say you want the KDUS special.
Florence and the Machine presents the Everybody Scream Tour. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, Saturday, May 9th. The incomparable Florence and the Machine returns. With special guest, Mannequin Pussy. On sale now at livenation.com. The new album, Everybody Scream, available now.
Everybody Scream. Right now at Mark Kia in Scottsdale, you can receive a 0% APR for up to 60 months on a brand new 2026 Kia EV9. That's right, 0%.
The name to remember, Mark Kia. Mark Kia, $1,667 per thousand borrowed. Offer expires May 4th, 2026.
For nearly 25 years, Primavera has helped thousands of Arizona students succeed with an accredited world-class education, tuition-free and from home. Don't wait. Enroll today at chooseprimavera.com. That's chooseprimavera.com.
With the Lakers completely busted up and enormous underdogs against the Rockets in the first round, the question again becomes, could this be the end for LeBron? The Athletic took a stab at answering that with a long-form piece today. Key takeaways include what seemed like an imminent divorce between the Lakers and LeBron may not be now, since he accepted his role as option number 3 and the team played so well once he did. That said, the piece also cites sources saying that LeBron does not need a season-long farewell tour and that he could retire at the end of this year. Right. You're telling me this guy would not require an entire season of everybody genuflecting to the king. Man, get out of here with that. The question is, where does he play? And more importantly, how much will he make? Because that will determine where he plays. In the meantime, alleged GOAT, dig deep, go triple-double, and find a way to steal game 1 so we get an actual series. I'm Jim Rome. Jim Rome here. True story. I married the best person I've ever met, Janet. And not only that, but the best mother I know. So would it not stand a reason that I would get her the very best gift for Mother's Day? Aura Frames. What an absolutely amazing product. I love it so much. And more importantly, she does. Save on gifts that moms love at auraframes.com. For a limited time, get $25 off the Carver mat frame. That's the one we have. You have to use the code ROME, R-O-M-E. Support the show by mentioning the Jim Rome Show at checkout. Terms and conditions do apply. auraframes.com. The playoff push is heating up, and Prize Picks is simple to play. Pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in. And now with early payouts and the new social feed, you can follow friends, share picks, and copy winning lineups. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code ROME and get a $50 bonus credit in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Code ROME to get a $50 bonus credit in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. is MMA Friday on the Sports Zoo with official UFC ranker Scott Lewis, brought to you by RTO Sullivan's, your home for every UFC event. The Sports Zoo is the only show in the Valley that gives you 1 full hour of MMA every week, featuring Scott Lewis's official UFC ranking changes, fight predictions for every weekly event, shocking MMA stories, and more. So tune in every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. and then head to RTO Sullivan's every Saturday to watch the fights. Go to RTOSullivans.com for a location near you.
Do we start with the good or the bad from over the weekend, producer Evan? Diamondbacks welcomed in the defending American League champion Toronto Blue Jays over the weekend. And I think there's more good than bad, as they did take 2 out of 3. They are now 8-4 in their last 12. And they start a series with the 8-14 Chicago White Sox here coming up. And so when we looked at the schedule before the season started, it was right here where you saw some daylight, right? You saw some greener grass. And so if the Diamondbacks could get through the meaty beginning part of their schedule, you felt like there was some opportunity. Well, not only did they get through the meaty part of their schedule, they actually thrived in it. 13-9. As I mentioned, 8-4 in their last 12. What is it now? 4 straight series wins for this team. The bullpen's been great. Corbin Carroll did it again over the weekend, a go-ahead grand slam. What was that? Saturday's win where he delivered the huge moment. And so a lot of good around this team right now. Luis Gurriel back in the lineup. So a lot of good. There was some bad over the weekend. And the bad was yesterday. And the bad was the starter, Ryan Nelson, who got just 1 out for the Diamondbacks in yesterday's game. He allowed the first 8 hitters to reach base. Struck out the guy hitting 9th, and then it was right back to the top of the order. They proceeded to keep it moving, and he was out of the game. 8 runs allowed in just 1/3 of an inning. And I'll tell you, this was like watching the game yesterday and watching it just I don't even know. It's like one of those, at the airport, the walking jetway where you can just kind of like stand and walk. That's what it felt like. It just felt like it. Everybody's moving.
Can I say something?
Please.
Don't stand on those.
So you're okay. So you think that if you're going to go onto the moving walkway,
if you're on the moving walkway,
you need to move. You need to do a walkway. So you need to do the walking part of the walk.
Yes. And then I can't stand the people who don't walk and they stand next to the person that they are flying with, traveling with. So now you're holding up the entire walkway.
Can maybe we refine this a little bit? Because I'm actually okay.
If you stand, but on the right side.
If you stand on the right side and you don't want to walk, I'm okay with this. Because then I can move around you.
If I can pass you.
If I can pass you like I'm an F1 car, we're good. But to your point, if you now have you and your entire family and you're spread out like you're the Cardinals offensive line, and I can't find the hole, now you're causing problems.
I have a problem.
I also have a problem. I'll tell you this. I also have a problem with the people that I'm walking. I'm not off to the side. I'm not blocking anybody's way. I'm walking. And then I have the person who wants to be in the Boston Marathon that's going on today or went on this morning that just wants to sprint by me with their stuff and just bang into me on the way through. Listen, I know you're in a rush, but we're all trying to get to the same place here.
Yeah, especially if you're headed to baggage claim.
And if I'm moving too, I can't be going that slow.
No.
But that's what it was like watching the Toronto Blue Jays yesterday. They were just moving along the moving walkway, just rinse, repeat, right? It was like I was watching when my daughter first moved up to the club softball world, and you right into 10U, and the girls are still learning how to pitch. I'm sure this is the same in club travel baseball, but my daughter, that's the example I'll use. And the pitcher just doesn't have the command because they're still, and it's just walk after walk after walk. That's what it felt like. It's just hit after hit after just guy on base. And I will tell you, this is the concern I have with Ryan Nelson. Because there are days where he can look brilliant. There are days where he can look like somebody who can be your 1, 2, or 3 in your rotation. But too many times, he has days like this, where you're left not knowing what he is as a starter. And I'm sorry, the best of the best, your number 1s, your number 2s, these types of days are few and far between. And unfortunately for Ryan Nelson, these types of days seem to come up a little bit too often. He's walking more guys than he's walked in the past, which is a problem. I know he's trying to tweak his stuff a little bit. And now for the moment, Brendan Pfaadt looked good in this bullpen role, so I think they're going to keep him there, and he looked great yesterday. So another good thing coming out of yesterday's game. He went 6 1/3 out of the pen. It was great. Saved the bullpen for this week. Tip your cap to Brandon. And I don't think they're going to make a change just yet, But this is why I'm just not all the way there yet with Ryan Nelson, because maybe it's not always knocked out in the first inning with 8 runs, but there just tends to be these starts where you're just left going, is he really a top 3 starter in this rotation? Do I really trust him enough? Like, I trust Merrill Kelly. I trust Zach Gallen. I know there are some out there that don't. I trust Zach Gallen.
You trust Zach Gallen on any given day to battle, right? Like, he may not have his best stuff. He may give up 3 runs in 6 innings. I trust him to go out there and battle.
Like, those two guys I trust. This year, I've learned to trust Eduardo Rodriguez.
Which is full circle moment, but yes, 100%.
I'm not all the way there yet with Michael Soroka, but it's been way better than I expected.
Dart to the dartboard so far, you got to hit.
And with Ryan Nelson, it's more of, I don't know. It is a roll of the dice, I think, which version of Ryan Nelson you get any given start. And that is a problem. And when we view him through the lens of, is he a 1, 2, or a 3? I don't think he's going to be that.
The difference for me, and let's just use the guys on the rotation in Mike Soroka and Eduardo Rodriguez, is Erod and Mike Soroka feel right now sustainable for the right now. Like, they have it a little. And this is now they've strung together 3, 4 starts where you're like, wow, what a great start again from Michael Soroka. He had the batting inning in Philadelphia. He buckled down. Erod has been dominant for the most part. And do I think that's sustainable through the year? No. But you get 4 or 5 back-to-back-to-back starts. Whereas when you look at Ryan Nelson, it feels like on any given day, he could give you 6.5 and, 1 run, no runs. He could get shelled, but there's no consistency. It's not 3 back-to-back great starts like it has been for Mike Soroka or it has been for Erod.
Let's just look at this year, right? He opened up against the Dodgers, and if you want to say it's the Dodgers, Chris, it's the best team in baseball, cut him some slack. Okay, he allowed 4 earned runs in that game. Then he went out there against the Braves, 4 2/3, 2 earned runs. Then he threw back-to-back gems, 5 2/3 against the Mets. He allowed just the 1 earned run. 5 1/3 against Baltimore, again, just the 1 earned run. And then it was yesterday against Toronto where he's allowed 8 earned runs in just a third of an inning. His ERA is now a 6.97 for the year, but if you look at some of the expected metrics, his expected ERA is only around a 5. So, yeah, he's getting a little bit of bad luck, but not that much.
Because an ERA around a 5, we wouldn't be happy with either. It's only 6.97 because he allowed 8 runs yesterday and didn't get out of the first inning.
If we go to when he became a full-time starter last year, 7 runs in his first game against Cincinnati, and then he was great. 0, 1, 1, 2, 1, then 4. 1, 0, 1, 2, 5, 4, 3, 1, 3, 1, 0, 2, 3. He's just kind of all over the place. And he was good last year as he ended with a 3.39 ERA. But I'm not all the way bought in yet. Those last 2 starts against the Mets and the Orioles made me want to buy in. I'm not ready to buy in just yet. I'm just not. And as this season continues to develop, and if the Diamondbacks continue to win, they'll be looking for every margin where they can improve. And if Ryan Nelson doesn't get back to being the guy we saw in his last 2 starts, and mostly the guy that we saw at the beginning of the season, then you may look for an upgrade. Right now, I think it's fair to say, hey, this is one blip on the radar this season. But unfortunately, I always kind of have a fear this can happen to Ryan Nelson because I've seen some level of this in the past. And it's just, I'm not all the way there yet in terms of trusting. That's my concern. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also chat away with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, did the Cardinals get some help from another NFC team over the weekend? That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
ASU baseball this Wednesday night right here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Sun Devils as they take on New Mexico State for another midweek matchup. Head coach Lee Bloomquist is ready to show that his team's strengths don't take weekdays off. Join the voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy, on the call live. It's ASU versus New Mexico State this Wednesday. Pregame at 6:15 p.m. and first pitch at 6:35 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and the KDUS app.
On a July morning in 1991, Detective Mike King's life changed forever.
I don't think I'll ever forget that first moment when I saw her.
A young woman made a startling confession. She'd recently been a member of a cult.
I had to consider the fact that her involvement meant that she could actually be one of the predators.
Gardens of Evil, Inside the Zion Society Cult is the 5th season of the award-winning series American Nightmares. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen.
Bob Dylan in person. One night only. June 23rd, Arizona Financial Theater. Bob Dylan. Plus Lucinda Williams and her band. And the John Doe Folk Trio. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Bob Dylan Live, plus Lucinda Williams and her band, and the John Doe Folk Trio. Show starts promptly at 7 p.m.
Every business has a purpose to inspire, a purpose to innovate, a purpose to serve. At SRP, our purpose is to power yours. From rebates for energy-efficient upgrades to money-saving programs, we help businesses of all sizes find reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy solutions. Discover the possibilities at savewithsrpbiz.com.
Winning once, that's a good season. But building a streak, that takes showing up. Every call, every claim, every day. AAA Auto Insurance is ranked number 1 for auto insurance customer satisfaction in the Southwest by J.D. Power, 2 years in a row. And we don't take this repeat for granted, because trust isn't a given, it's earned. Join the millions of satisfied drivers who choose AAA Auto Insurance. Get a quote at AAA.com/quote. For J.D. Power 2025 award information, visit JDPower.com/awards.
Helping your money do more means putting yourself in the financial driver's seat.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no better or more literal way to do that than with a low-rate auto loan from America First Credit Union. Plus, for a limited time, when you finance your new vehicle with America First, you'll enjoy no payments for 90 days. And that means getting more mileage out of every cent you spend. So make your money move. Head to AmericaFirst.com to apply for pre-approval of your low-rate auto loan today. Eligibility, terms, conditions, and creditworthiness apply. Subject to change. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal opportunity lender.
Big fat news. Del yeah. Big Fat Tacos are back at Del Taco. Get these toasty flatbread tacos with seasoned beef, grilled chicken, or carne asada steak. Right now, grab 2 grilled chicken Big Fat Tacos for just $6 small. Need a little something extra? For a limited time, score Del's classic snack tacos with seasoned beef and fresh house grated cheddar for just 59 cents each. Only at Del Taco. Price and participation may vary.
Every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. is MMA Friday on the Sports Zoo with official UFC ranker Scott Lewis, brought to you by RTO Sullivan's, your home for every UFC event. The Sports Zoo is the only show in the Valley that gives you 1 full hour of MMA every week, featuring Scott Lewis's official UFC ranking changes, fight predictions for every weekly event, shocking MMA stories, and more. So tune in every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. and then head to RTO Sullivan's every Saturday to watch the fights. Go to RTOSullivans.com for a location near you.
Well, the draft kind of got started a little early because it is draft week, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this Thursday, the 2026 NFL draft is here. We got festivities kicked off over the weekend as the New York Giants and Cincinnati Bengals hooked up for a trade. Dexter Lawrence in exchange for the number 10 overall pick on Thursday. That's it. That's all that was in the deal. Straight up, Dexter Lawrence for the number 10 overall pick. I got to tell you, great job by the Giants. Feels like they did way better than people thought they could for Dexter Lawrence, who needed a new contract. People thought that they might be able to get a late first-round pick, probably at the peak. They ended up getting the number 10 overall pick for Cincinnati. To me, this reeks of desperation. This reeks of, we have messed up this window with Joe Burrow. We've got to fix our defense any way possible. And Dexter Lawrence is better than any defender that we're going to get at number 10, so we might as well do this to try to win with Joe Burrow. But it just reeks of, they don't know how much longer they're going to have Joe Burrow, and they got to give it a shot while they still can. That's at least the read I have of it.
I don't know how you could walk away with any other feeling, honestly.
Now, this does set up kind of nicely for the Arizona Cardinals because now the Giants have 2 picks inside the top 10. And the Cowboys have long been rumored to wanting to move up from number 12. And I wonder if there is a response that needs to be made by Dallas to now New York, their division rival, picking twice inside the top 10. I don't know if Kansas City now feels the urge to come up from number 9. It was the Kansas City GM that came out and said that he expects a lot of trades to happen on night 1 of the 2026 NFL draft, that he expects there to be a lot of movement. Well, we've already seen some movement ahead of time. There was a report that came out today from Adam Schefter that the Cardinals very much working the phones to try to get out of number 3. And I wonder if now New York moving up into a range where they can take a wide receiver early with now one of their 2 picks, whether it's at 5 or whether it's at 10, makes some teams jumpy behind the Giants at 10 to get in there, try to get a wide receiver. I wonder if it makes some teams like New Orleans or Kansas City a little jumpy to want to get in front of the Giants at number 5 to get whatever they're looking for. Jeremiah Love, one of these wide receivers, David Bailey, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles. Because now that the Giants have 2 first-round picks, I don't know what the Giants are going to do. What you're seeing now is this idea that they'll now take Jordan Tyson at 5 because they have 10. They can still get somebody that is a blue chip prospect, and they can take the risk on Tyson at 5 because they have that extra first-round pick. They can get the guy that they want. And talent-wise, Tyson's a top 10 pick. You're just taking in the injury risk, but their risk is mitigated because they have pick number 10. What I'm here to tell you today is the Giants can do whatever they want now that they have 2 first-round picks. They can take Jeremiah Love at number 5 if he's there, and then take a receiver at 10. They could take a receiver at 10 and then take Caleb down at 5, take Caleb Downs at 10. They could take Sonny Styles at 5 if they want now. Nothing is off limits to the Giants when they pick twice inside the top 10. And really, take out Mendoza at number 1, they're going to get 2 of the top 9 players on their board. And so they can take on more risk, whether it's positional value with Jeremiah Love or Sonny Styles, whether it's the risk of taking somebody with an interesting injury profile in Jordan Tyson. They can take on way more risk than anybody else can right now. And so that opens the door to so many different possibilities, and that puts a ton of pressure on the teams that pick after the Giants at 5, but before they pick at 10. And it puts pressure on those teams behind the Giants at 10 that want a receiver. You're going to have to move up. You are not going to be able to let the board fall to you. And so this may be music to the Cardinals' ears. This may be exactly what they needed to go down in order to facilitate the phone to start ringing a little bit more maybe than it already was. Because now the Giants are the ultimate wild card. They could do anything at 5, and it would make sense. Jeremiah Love at 5 would make sense. Sonny Styles at 5 would make sense. Jordan Tyson at 5 would make sense. If Arvell Reese got to them, he makes sense at 5. So many things now fit because you can say, sure, they're taking on risk. By the time everybody's done discussing what the Giants did at number 5, their team name's going to be at the bottom up next, right? I mean, by the time we can actually finish dissecting what they did at 5, they're going to be on the clock again. So they're going to be able to do whatever they want. It's a great spot to be if you're the Giants. I understand why they made the move. It's a great move from their perspective. And to me, it adds even more chaos to the top 10 of the draft. And I think it's going to create some teams some urgency for them to get on the phone with Tennessee, to get on the phone with Arizona. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see teams try to get on the phone all the way up to number 2. If they start calling the Jets to see if the Jets would be interested in moving down, because the Giants are a real problem in many ways for a lot of the teams that sit right behind them at 5 and the teams that sit right behind them at 10. Now, the Cardinals got to make a deal, but this feels like a good thing for them. This feels like it sets up for Dallas to get a little panicky and want to come up, and they'll finally relent and say, okay, we'll give you 12 and 20. This might nudge Kansas City to make sure they get in front of Tennessee and the Giants. Okay, we'll give up 9 and some more to come up to number 3. Like, this feels like it could be that last little push that you need if you're a team that's thought about coming up to number 3, but you haven't really. It feels like it's too much. Do we really need to do it? This may be the thing that says, okay, we need to do it, and we'll give that little extra in order to do it.
Yeah, and the other team we've been citing is the Cowboys, right? Like, you don't think part of them wants to jump the Giants if they're in on the same guy?
Exactly.
So, like, you have these, not only these teams that want their player, but then you have this cat and mouse game between the Cowboys and Giants who are going to want to jump each other, not only to get their guy, but to also keep him away from an in-division rival. So this was all good news for the Cardinals. And when the phone buzzes in my hand and I'm looking down at this, I'm thinking, why, first of all? Just why from Cincinnati? My second thought is, how does this affect the Cardinals? And as I thought about it more, I just don't know how it's negatively.
If you're Cleveland, right? You pick at 6. You need a wide receiver. You need a corner. Are you not worried now that the Giants have 5 and 10? Are you not worried that they'll just take a receiver at 5? Maybe it's not Tyson. Maybe it's Tate. But now you're worried. If you're Washington at 7, right? Let's look at Washington's team needs. Wide receiver, corner, safety. Are you not worried that the Giants can say, you know what? Screw it. Positional value, who cares? You know what? I'll give you John Harbaugh, I'll give you the drop.
Who cares?
We're taking Caleb Downs at number 5. We don't care. We don't care about positional value because we got 2 picks inside the top 10.
I was going to say, but now they've opened themselves up to that. And having 10, they can take him at 10.
New Orleans needs an edge, wide receiver, corner, linebacker. Doesn't that directly make it more difficult for them to maneuver with the Giants directly in front of them? So I'm sorry. This is a great thing for the Arizona Cardinals. This is a great thing for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, it has to lead to a move, but to me, it feels more likely that they'll be able to make that move now after what the Giants did over the weekend, because you'll have a bunch of teams that are going to be a little more scared today, that are going to be a little more worried that they're not going to be able to get their guy because of the Giants at number 5. Because you could convince yourself that Jordan Tyson's the pick at number 5. You could convince yourself Sonny Styles is the pick at number 5. You could convince yourself Caleb Downs is the pick at number 5. There's like 6 different players I can convince you right now is the pick that the Giants want to make at number 5. And that impacts everybody behind them.
Yeah.
So, Monty,
this is the type of move at the draft board that allows you to maneuver.
It opens it up for you. It certainly opens it up for you to
because
make that move.
Because you just needed somebody to get it started.
And the Giants may have gotten it started over the weekend. So I think this is something to keep an eye on here over the next couple of days. And I think the Cardinals would rather do something before we get to the deadline of Thursday. I think they would rather do something in the next couple of days so that they can kind of plan accordingly. And so keep an eye on this as the week unfolds. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream when we come back. What is this series for the Phoenix Suns actually about? That's next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
ASU baseball this Wednesday night right here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Sun Devils as they take on New Mexico State for another midweek matchup. Head coach Lee Bloomquist is ready to show that his team's strengths don't take weekdays off. Join the voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy, on the call live. It's ASU versus New Mexico State this Wednesday. Pregame at 6:15 p.m. and first pitch at 6:35 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS.com and the KDUS app.
If you're hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, everything can change fast. That's when the attorneys at Sweet James step in. They help you understand your rights, connect you with medical care, and pursue the compensation you may be entitled to. You don't pay anything unless your case is resolved successfully, and help is available 24 hours a day. If you've been injured, call Sweet James for a free case review. Hablamos Español. 800-9000000. 800-900-0000. SweetJames.com. This advertisement is paid for by Sweet James LLP. Responsible attorney, Bobby Tick-Heavy. Offices in California. No guarantee of results.
I get by with a little help from my friends.
Ringo Starr and his all-star band. With friends, Steve Lukather from Toto. From Men at Work, Colin Hay. From Average White Band, Hamish Stewart. Friday, June 12th at 7:30 p.m., Gamage Auditorium. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Danny Zalesko Presents.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Getting engaged? So friends, listen up. Shane Company engagement rings are protected with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We stand behind the same quality we've offered since 1929. Our rings are crafted to last. It's why our warranty is the only one that protects your center stone. We also cover repairs, resizings, cleanings, and so much more. That's money you keep for you and your family, because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Tom Izzo, Michigan State head basketball coach.
I've had more than a couple job offers in the NBA and looked at one last year with Phoenix, and my former player, Matt Ispia. And that was hard. That was a hard thing to turn down because, number one, I kind of wanted to go with him. Number two,
so they offered you the head coaching job?
Well, we talked seriously about it, let's say that.
Weekdays, 6 to 9 a.m. on KTUS AM 1060.
Obviously, we'd all like the Suns to win this series against Oklahoma City, right? I mean, that's obviously what the series is about. You want to see the Suns go as far as they can. But I think we can all drink a little bit of the reality juice and say that we know that's probably not going to happen. In fact, after what you saw yesterday, you think it's very unlikely that they even win a game in this series. Although one game does not make a series. You got to win 4 times. The Thunder have to win 3 more times, and it's the Suns' job to make that as difficult as possible. But I do think there are 2 other main things that I'm paying very close attention to in this series. And producer Evan, I think we should peel the curtain back a little bit here because I think this will be a very good story time for everybody. On Friday, you and I were texting throughout the course of the play-in game between the Suns and the Warriors. And on Friday, so before game 1 even happened, you and I thought about what the open of the show today was going to be. Before game 1 had been played, we had an idea of what we were going to open with. And we thought we were going to open with a ton of praise on Jalen Green and how under that kind of pressure, season on the line, I don't think his spot on this roster is all but guaranteed moving forward, right? I think there was a world where if they got eliminated on Friday, he could have been one of the players out the door, right? He was hurt, didn't play a whole lot. He still has some value. Like it could have been a summer of Jalen Green rumors, right? And so I think under that pressure to play as well as he did, to take over, to be the guy, to be, at least for one game, the superstar that the Suns needed. You thought that you started to get a lot of answers about who Jalen Green is as a player on Friday. Then yesterday happens, and so we got to tweak it a little bit. But I think one of the things I'm paying very close attention to, especially after Friday, is Jalen Green a part of the answer here? Is Jalen Green somebody that this team should build around? That's one of the things this series is about for me. After what you saw on Friday, there's a glimmer. There's a chance that Jalen Green's the guy that you actually build around, that he's the guy this all centers around. Now, he's way too inconsistent. The injuries were a problem this year. He is still a young player, so there's some volatility. And so that's what this series is going to teach me, right? Houston decided we got to the postseason. We couldn't get over the hump. Jalen Green's the guy we can cut out of this equation. Well, now I want to know in this series, is Jalen Green actually a part of the equation? Is Jalen Green a part of the answer here? I thought on Friday he might be. Game 1, nobody looked like they were part of the answer for the Suns. What can Jalen Green show to all of us with the at least 3 games remaining in this series? So that's thing number 1 that I'm paying attention to and what I actually think this series is about. Thing number 2, the growth of Jordan Ott as a head coach. Do we see a coach embrace what this series is and try different things? Do we see a coach embrace what this series is about and throw caution to the wind and say, you know what? Even if I play my team at its absolute best, this is an uphill battle, right? So I might as well experiment. I might as well use this opportunity. We're ahead of schedule. We beat expectations. Everybody is happy for us to be here. We're dealing with some injuries to Mark Williams. We're dealing with injuries to Grayson Allen. Who knows if they're going to be able to go in game 2 or at all in this series. Jordan Goodwin's out now. So I'm shorthanded. I'm not dealing with a full deck. So let's try stuff. Let's throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. So now I've got a better baseline to go off of when we start next season. If and when, hopefully when, we get to the playoffs next year, we're better off for going through this experience. That's what this series is about. This can't be empty calories, right? To use the diet term. These can't be empty calories.
Not at all.
You got to learn from this. No matter what happens, you get swept, you win a game, you push Oklahoma City to a game 6, all the different outcomes. You get embarrassed in all 4 games, you have to learn from it. It has to be worth something no matter what happens here. And I don't know if we learn a whole lot if Jordan Ott keeps trying to go small ball, same lineups, not throwing guys out there, not trying stuff. Like, for me, I'd start Malawach as the starting center on Wednesday.
Why not go? You cannot play. Okay. You got away with on Friday. Not got away with, but you can play Golden State small. You can. We've seen them play all year. You can play that team small. You cannot play this team small. You cannot try it. You tried it in game 1. It's not going to work. We got to change it up.
And I just think, yes, he's going to make mistakes. Yes, he's a rookie playing in the postseason. It's a bright stage. Those lights are really bright, right? He could be in over his head and make a ton of mistakes.
But at least I know what he looks like, and he's going to know what playoff basketball feels like. If we really think Malawach is going to be part of this roster, why not throw him out there?
Now, if
you're not going to beat Oklahoma City.
If Jordan Ott was here right now and he was sitting across from me, he would tell me that he thinks the Suns can win this series, and so he's not going to do something like that because he's trying to win the series. For me, sitting over here, I can say, I don't think they're going to win this series, so you've got to learn something from this. And now maybe they can do both. Maybe they can try to be competitive and try to pull off the upset and try to win this series and also learn something in the process. I'm a little skeptical of them being able to do that, but maybe it is possible. But I don't want to watch the same game on Wednesday. See, Tuesday. I'm already assuming that the game's on Tuesday, even though it's not. On Wednesday, I don't want to watch the same game I watched yesterday. I don't. Because then I don't know what we learned from this series then. If it's just going to be the same thing every single time. And maybe you can learn something from it. Maybe getting your butt kicked 4 straight games and getting swept and getting embarrassed in all 4 games gives you the wake-up call that you need in the summer to make some necessary changes. But I would rather see the in-series adjustments, because isn't that part of being a coach? You got to get those in-series adjustments right. And if he makes a small tweak there, and all of a sudden they're competitive through 3 quarters against Oklahoma City, and Oklahoma City then pulls away in the 4th, well, you're okay. You still lost, but you got better. That's what I'm looking for. So that's what this series is about. Is Jalen Green a part of the answer? And does Jordan Ott grow as a head coach from this? That's what I want to see. Yes, winning is great. I think we all know that's probably not going to happen. So what can they learn from it? I think it's those 2 things. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. Hour number 2 coming up next. So lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
This is Michael with Restore My Civil Rights. I made a lot of poor decisions in my past that had lifelong consequences. After I was released from prison for the last time in 2014, I discovered the process to have my convictions dismissed and all of my rights restored, including my Second Amendment rights. Since achieving this for myself in 2018, our attorney has assisted over 3,000 others in doing the same. If you are still living under the consequences of past mistakes and would like to restore your rights as I have, visit RestoreMyCivilRights.com and book a free consultation today.
Somber presents You Are the Reason Tour. Fresh from selling out shows all around the world. See Somber live in Glendale. Desert Diamond Arena, October 14th, with special guests Tom Odell and The Help.
Get tickets now at sombermusic.com.
Casino Arizona is uniquely Arizona. Feel at home with the Valley's one true locals casino, from the welcoming, friendly smiles to the slot win high five celebrations. Picture yourself with the coolest cast at our blackjack tables. Dine like a rock star at our buffet or Choya Steakhouse, where even the steaks are famous. Want to stack up rewards while having fun at your favorite casino? Join Salt River Rewards, and the excitement keeps rising with every return visit. Casino Arizona, uniquely Arizona. You must be 21 years of age or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
If you're a pro, you know you need paint and primer fast. And the Home Depot has you covered with same-day or next-day deliveries so you can stay on site and on schedule. Get high-quality Behr paints and Kills primers delivered right to your job site. And with the Home Depot app, reordering is faster than ever. Just pick your paint, track your order, and get your go-to color in no time. No delays, no extra trips, just the paint and primer you need when you need it. The Home Depot. How pros get more done. Limitations may apply. Not available in all markets. See store for details.
This is Arizona's biggest name in gaming. Whether it's the brilliantly brand new White Tanks or the always spectacular West Valley right down the street, we've got you covered with the hottest slots and tables, state-of-the-art sportsbook, dazzling dining like the legendary Morton's Steakhouse, entertainment, and more. The brand new Desert Diamond White Tanks and Desert Diamond West Valley.
An enterprise with Donna Automation. Superstar Car Wash, the car wash with superpowers. Sign up for a free car wash today. That's right, totally free for a limited time. Because we love what makes you shine. See website for details.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Number 2 of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert, producer Evan. I'm chuckling because in my ear, when producer Evan told me that we were live, he normally just says you're live and then I go. And this time he said you're live and it's buy or sell, which yes, it is. Nothing like the
Monday edition of buy or sell after the Suns get absolutely crushed in Game 1 in Oklahoma City.
Nothing like that edition of buy or sell. So we've got you. Your tour guide for the buy or sell is producer Evan. Where do we start?
Please keep all
everything
hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times.
Inside the roller coaster at all times.
And we will start with Jalen Green, who will still be on the roster next year because of how he played Friday night.
Yeah, I'm in on this. I don't know how serious a potential move in the summer was for Jalen Green, but I do think that there were some people out there that were wondering if, after not playing for a lot of the season and not really being a part of the change in the culture and the intensity and the effort level that we saw when the team started, 30-20, that he may be expendable, right? I think it's the way some people viewed it. Friday made me question that a little bit, right? Because he was the guy. He was the man.
And I think a lot of the conversation around that expensable has been, well, him and Book do the same thing.
Right. They don't work well together. And while, yes.
Friday raises questions.
I do still have that concern long term. Short term, it's hard to say that the Suns would be better off without Jalen Green.
I think that's 100% correct.
Now, he's still incredibly young. The efficiency is a problem at times. Sometimes he can score 25, 30 points, and it takes, 30 shots.
But you feel like he's going to learn that. You feel like that's going to come with age.
Well, and that's the point, right? He is still so young that there is this sort of untapped potential that you believe is still there, to where if you did move him in the summer, I wouldn't blame you, because I would feel this, like, are you giving up a little too soon? Now, I say this all the time. You always answer the phone. You always see what somebody's willing to offer. And if you get blown away because of how well he played on Friday and how good he looked this season, and it's a deal that you have to take, then you take it. But I think right now, Brian Gregory and Jordan Ott will tell you Jalen Green's part of their plans next year. So, yes, I'll buy.
The Cardinals will make a trade on night 1 of the draft.
So if they make one before night one, what is that?
Does not count.
So I have to sell the
They
ticket?
have to make it on Okay. Thursday, they'll make a trade.
Yeah.
So, if it happens Wednesday, not counting it. If it happens at noon Thursday, I'm counting that.
Yeah, I think they'll do something on Thursday. I think it's, ideally they would get something done beforehand, but I think it's very difficult to do something like this before the draft, right? Because if you're a team, you kind of want to see the way the board falls. You want to see what the Jets do at number 2. So I think it's more likely that it gets done on Thursday than today, tomorrow, or Wednesday.
We will see the D-backs be aggressive buyers at the MLB trade deadline.
What are you defining as an aggressive buyer?
I think it's going out and getting an impact piece. So, give you an example.
Okay.
Give me some of the players traded last year at the deadline. Merrill Kelly, to me, that's being an aggressive buyer. Like Texas went out and got Merrill Kelly.
Seattle getting
both, right? I mean, that's really aggressive. I think they'll never do that, but I think they could get one of those moves. You don't think so?
Here's why. They just got Lourdes Gurriel back, right?
You hate this argument.
No. Hold on. He's going to play left field, right?
Correct.
Corbin Carroll's going to play right field.
Correct.
If we're going to upgrade anywhere, it's going to be center.
It's Waldschmidt.
Jordan Lawler's going to come back at some point, and I've got Ryan Waldschmidt on the roster. So I think I'm going to exhaust those options first before I make a trade. Fair enough?
Yes, but so for me, I look at this roster and I see 2 spots where I think I can make a trade.
Okay.
First, DH. I think I could add another back.
Okay, I was going to go through all the positions. Like third base.
I could totally do it, but if I like Waldschmidt in center, I could have Lawler play third.
Or Nolan can play third. Jose Fernandez can play third. Like I've got options there. And right now, Jose Fernandez is bat I want in the lineup every day, right?
Correct.
Perdomo, we're going to talk about here this hour of the program. Not off to a good start, but still somebody. I'm not upgrading.
He's going to play every day.
Right? I'm not upgrading from Marte at second base. Gabby Moreno, when healthy, am I going to get an upgrade behind the plate? So you're looking at, can I get a starter? Corbin Burns is going to come back. And you're right. I do hate the argument of let's not go get somebody because we have this guy coming back. But what I'm saying is when they get to a place of wanting to make a decision to make a trade, I think Corbin Burns is going to be back. So I don't know if they're going to have a need in the rotation then. Right now, they might need a starter.
Like if you could go call Philadelphia and get Adolis Garcia, would you do it?
Right now, man, I just would really want to see Waldschmidt first for 4 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
They're off to such a good start that they've kind of bought themselves that time to try to see.
They have, right? You're 13-9 through 22. You feel really good about where you're at.
I mean, I'll say it. They're going to sweep the White Sox. They're going to be 16-9.
Knock on wood, but the way they're playing, it certainly feels like that.
So if they do that, I mean, they bought themselves the runway to kind of give this a shot with some of the young guys without needing to trade some of those young guys, because that's what it's going to take to get some of these impact bats, whether it's a DH, a first baseman, or to get a high leverage reliever, because that's another area. I think right now they're doing great, but I think another trusted arm out there would be nice.
Would be really nice. I think everybody would love that.
So no, I think right now they're going to trust what's gotten them to this point. They've got some young players who can help. And then after that, if they exhaust all those options, yeah, I can see them being aggressive. But right now at this stage, I think they're going to trust what they have internally for the moment.
There won't be a single upset in the NBA's first round.
Now, when you define upset, you mean a lower seed defeating a higher seed, right?
Yeah.
We're not talking what the betting markets say the favorite in the series is,
Correct.
Right?
So, like, technically, take out the 4-5 series.
Well, no, this is why I'm asking for answers here.
Okay, so if the Rockets win, Lakers up 1-0.
So let's go through this. Thunder are going to beat the Suns.
Yes.
I think the Rockets are going to outlast the Lakers.
I do too. I think that's the only chance you have, though.
Minnesota.
It looked bad.
It did not look good.
It looked bad. You know what? Trailblazers.
I know. And there's a chance there. They're going to need to win game 2 in order for it to happen.
Yes, you can't. If you can steal one, and if you get back to Portland 1-1,
they got a
the
chance.
feeling in San Antonio. By the way,
the jerseys,
the people of San Antonio.
Well, I mean, they got free T-shirts. It's pretty easy to just put the T-shirt on when it's there at your seat.
Just tremendous.
It's not that they completely, planned it in advance.
It looked great.
It did look great. I'm not taking that away from them, but the people of San Antonio, all they did was show up and there was a T-shirt in their seat and they put it on. I mean, they didn't do a whole lot. I got to tell you, the Magic could beat the Pistons. That series is not going 5.
That series is going 6 at least.
At least. The Raptors could beat the Cavs, but you're saying that the 4-5 is not.
I'll give it to you. I don't think they can beat the Cavs. I thought when it came down to it, Cleveland controlled that game.
I do not think the Knicks beat the Hawks.
You don't think?
I don't think the Hawks beat the Knicks.
Neither do I. And everybody loves that pick. No. I hate it.
And then I watched enough of Game 1 to say the 76ers don't stand a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Not a shot.
Yeah, unless they're wearing the early 2000s black jerseys, they won't win a single game.
So I think there's some possibilities. So
it is crazy. Like in this series in the NBA, it just feels like there's so many mismatches.
You mean just in terms of like the lopsidedness between the two teams?
Correct. I don't know if it's because of injuries across the board.
No, you know what it is? I think in general, the series that we're paying the closest attention to is lopsided. So we're kind of overblowing that a little bit.
Yeah, skewing it.
I think it skews our thought.
I think that's fair because like the series we're watching doesn't feel like a series.
No, it doesn't feel like the way. To be fair, yesterday, every single game was a double-digit point win for everybody. Boston won 123-91. Thunder won 119-84. The Magic beat the Pistons by 11. Trailblazers lost by 13. So, I mean, you didn't have a close game that came down to the final minute. So, to be fair to you, yesterday certainly felt that way.
Yeah.
But no, I'll take one upset.
Odell Beckham Jr. will suit them back up for the Giants this year.
Now, you bring this up because he was
he had a physical today.
He was brought in for a physical. Now, reports are that nothing is close between the Giants and Odell Beckham Jr., but if they're bringing him in for a physical.
This is so funny. I hope they do it. This is going to be a disaster.
Okay. You say that. A year ago, I would have agreed with you. How much are they going to pay him? Not a lot, right?
No, it's not about money. It's about what he does. He's going to bring everybody on the boat.
But hold on. Because hold on. Because you're getting to my overall point. They're not going to pay him a lot of money, right?
No.
So if he's a problem, you think John Harbaugh is going to put up with
John
that?
Harbaugh won't stand for it.
No. If this is Daboll, this is a terrible idea. This is awful because Daboll didn't have any control. But John Harbaugh, he's the sheriff in town. It's his room. The New York Giants are John Harbaugh's team. It's not Odell Beckham Jr.'s team. None of that nonsense is going to fly. So they're not going to pay him a lot. So if he is a problem, if he is taking guys out on the boat again, John Harbaugh will say, thank you. You've been released. That's what's going to happen. So I don't worry about it as much because Harbaugh's in charge.
A.J. Brown will have under 1,000 yards in his first season as a New England Patriot.
Under 1,000? No. I would love somebody. This may be a great question.
Can I say, even with A.J. there, that team's going to struggle this year.
Okay. I would love...
And that's a huge gift.
I would love somebody to do the research on this. And let's say the last 26 years. Let's go from 2000 all the way up. You're not going to be able to do this. This would require like a research level paper from like Harvard or something.
Okay.
Like sports analytics departments would need to run this for me. The first year after a wide receiver gets traded to their new team, how good is that first year production-wise compared to their last 2 years in their previous stop? Meaning, is there a first-year bump of we're trading for, no offense, A.J. Brown, a diva wide receiver. We want to make him happy in year one. We don't want to upset the apple cart. So we're going to make sure he is predominantly featured in our offense, and so he's able to get to 1,000 yards.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at just A.J., right? So as bad as people think it was in Philadelphia, you have to remember the numbers he put up. His last year in Tennessee, he did get hurt, if you remember. He only played the 13 games, had 869 yards. Let's just go through it. 2022, he gets to Philadelphia 1496, then 1456. Now, obviously, that production has come down. He got hurt in 2024, only played the 13 games. He had 1,000 yards that year. He had 1,003 this year.
I looked up the person that I thought was going to be the best example of this, and I didn't do this research beforehand. His name popped into my head. Stephon Diggs when he left Minnesota. He goes to Buffalo. So
15 something?
The year prior in Minnesota had a good year. 94 targets, 63 receptions, 1,130 yards. That was a career high up until that point, and 6 touchdowns. He gets to Buffalo. He leads the league in targets with 166. That's his career high. He's never beaten that number. He led the entire league in receptions with 127. He never beat that number again. And he had 1,535 receiving yards, which also led the league. And he's gotten close to it one other time. He got 1,429 in 2022. So, again, that's a small sample size of one player. But I would be shocked if there aren't more examples of the first year after you trade for a superstar wide receiver like this, that they don't pop.
Well, here's the one I think that's very interesting is rewind the clock and go to T.O., right? Like, he's the biggest example of moving around, kind of a diva receiver. He goes to Philadelphia, and he gets hurt. So he only plays 14 games in that first year. But he has 127 targets, 1,200 yards coming off, a 1,000-yard season. And then he goes to Dallas just 2 years later, same thing. This time he gets 150 targets, just under 1,200 yards again. So this is the kind of trend we've seen when these guys get that little bump.
And so I'll say that he'll get over 1,000 yards next year for the Patriots.
Okay, 1,200.
Okay, now you're starting to get to a place where I'd have to sit down and look at the numbers and look at what the offense did last year. But I think to say over 1,000.
Because I guess the other thing too is look at Diggs, go back to Diggs. He had 1,000 yards last year.
In
the
New
quietest
England?
1,000 I've ever seen, but he had 1,000 yards.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll take over 1,000 for A.J. Brown next year.
That's all I got for you.
Wow. I was going to say a quick version of buy or sell, but we're still 3 minutes over. So even a quick version of buy or sell, we still went over the clock. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also chat away with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream when we come back. Have the smoke screens already begun? That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. is MMA Friday on the Sports Zoo with official UFC ranker Scott Lewis, brought to you by RT O'Sullivan's, your home for every UFC event. The Sports Zoo is the only show in the Valley that gives you 1 full hour of MMA every week, featuring Scott Lewis's official UFC ranking changes, fight predictions for every weekly event, shocking MMA stories, and more. So tune in every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. and then head to RT O'Sullivan's every Saturday to watch the fights. Go to RTOSullivans.com for a location near you.
Beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority bookings by calling our heroes over at Zero Res. Hey, it's Audrey. I have personal experience with Zero Res. They came in and completely made my home smell way more fresh than it did. And it's not because I smell funky. It's because, I've got pets, and I had family over during the holidays, so we'll blame it on them. And they came and completely helped change my winter blues into springtime cleans. Zero Res removes all of that winter buildup and lingering odors, giving your home a fresh, spring-ready feel, preparing your home for the brighter days ahead. And don't forget about your air ducts, because they are the lungs of your home. And if they're dirty, your indoor air quality is going to suffer. This month, get 3 rooms Zero Resified from Phoenix's #1 carpet cleaner, starting at just $129. And whenever you mention KDUS, receive a free hallway cleaning and take $75 off your air duct cleanings. Call Zero Res right now at 480-507-2419 or go online at ZeroResPhoenix.com and say you want the KDUS special.
The Avett Brothers and Mike Patton present Avett Patton Performing Live at Arizona Financial Theater, May 12th. Avett Patton. On sale now at livenation.com.
With a Global credit card, you earn reward points for every purchase. Use your rewards at checkout at many of your favorite stores, Or use points instead of cash when you shop online. You can even use them to book a flight up to 3 days in advance. New York, Vegas, Albuquerque. From groceries to getaways, redeem your way. Apply for your global credit card now at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Trick, and this is Above the Noise. The Bengals had a clear plan in mind this offseason. Fix the defensive line and do it now. By sending the 10th overall pick to the Giants for Dexter Lawrence, Cincinnati landed one of the premier interior defenders in football. It's a move that immediately raises the floor of a unit that was on the floor. Lawrence is not a projection. He's a proven talent. He lives in the opposition's backfield. He's physical, capable of clearing rushing lanes for outside pass rushers. That's the appeal. The concern is everything else that comes with it. He arrives with a massive contract, and paired with deals for Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, the Bengals are now committing an immense amount of cap for just 4 players. Lawrence will make this team better immediately, but process matters. The top 10 pick offers cost control, flexibility, and the chance to build youthful depth. And for a team that's not just one player away, that's a gamble that extends well beyond the defensive line. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. A personal question. Have you ever wiped with a piece of dry, single-ply toilet paper and wondered, is this as good as it gets? Well, it's not. It's a whole lot better thanks to the wet, extra-large cleaning power of Dude Wipes. They comfortably clean up whatever toilet paper leaves behind. You can make the trade of the season, switch from toilet paper, and start experiencing the confident clean of Dude Wipes. Available at Amazon and at major retailers nationwide. Dude Wipes, best clean, pants down. These days, everybody's searching for ways to save on insurance. Scrolling comparison sites, digging through tips, chasing deals. But Liberty Mutual makes it simple. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance to save you money. And when you bundle, those savings really start to come through. It's insurance built for real people with a team that helps you keep what matters most, money. No hassle, just confidence that your coverage is customized with savings in mind. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local independent agent.
ASU baseball this Wednesday night right here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Sun Devils as they take on New Mexico State for another midweek matchup. Head coach Lee Bloomquist is ready to show that his team's strengths don't take weekdays off. Join the voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy, on the call live. It's ASU versus New Mexico State this Wednesday. Pregame at 6:15 p.m. and first pitch at 6:35 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS.com and the KDUS app.
Boy, it feels like every day we learn something, I guess, more interesting about the Cardinals, or at least the Cardinals tend to be at the center of the NFL draft conversation every single day, at least as of late. Does it not feel that way? We're just there at the center of everything right now?
Constantly at the center of the news.
Ty Simpson is minus 200 to go to the Arizona Cardinals. A player that isn't supposed to go inside the top 5 being that much of a favorite to one team is unheard of. It's insanity that the odds on Ty Simpson to be an Arizona Cardinal are that short, that it is that much of a lock.
I wonder if can you bet the field?
You're saying, how would you put this bet together? That they don't take Ty Simpson?
Correct.
So you're just saying, do the Cardinals take Ty Simpson, yes or no?
Yeah.
So you would just want the no side.
Is that plus odds?
I mean, it has to be at this point, right? I mean,
that's
I don't
insane.
know, but it has to be.
There's 31 other teams. The Cardinals don't even pick in a range where we think he's going to go yet.
Right. It's one of those things where everybody expects him to end up with the Cardinals, but right now there isn't like a viable path for him to get there. But everyone just kind of goes, they'll figure it out.
They don't even have a pick to take him right now.
I mean, unless they're going to take him at number 3. I keep saying this. It'd be organizational malpractice to not take him at 3 if you love him. Why did that sound kind of Mel Kiper? Well, I believe that if you love him, you can't leave it up to chance. I've said this for the last couple of weeks now.
To quote Mel Kiper, and this is why the Cardinals are always going to pick at the top of the draft.
Well, they do pick at the top of the draft, and in our latest edition of As the Cardinals Draft Turns, Adam Schefter put together a column today on ESPN that was the latest info that he was getting. And again, the Cardinals at the center of everything, they came up. I'm going to read to you this blurb from Schefter. Quote, "There is growing chatter in league circles that Love is truly in play at the high end of that range with Arizona. Ideally, the Cardinals would like to find a team willing to trade up so they can acquire more picks. And there have already been exploratory calls, as one source described it, regarding the number 3 selection. But if the Cardinals hold on to their pick, some around the league believe they could pull an early draft surprise and select Love in a slot slightly higher than he has been projected to go," end quote. What would bother people more if they took Ty Simpson at 3 or Jeremiah Love at 3?
Here's the answer.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
It's to me, it's worse to take Love at 3 than Simpson at 3.
Okay, so you are correct. To me, you are correct. Value of position becomes bigger. And if you could be right on Jeremiah Love at 3, and it may not matter. Now, have you ever seen the meme of like the Bugatti sitting in the trailer park house?
I don't believe I've seen this. No.
You've never seen it?
I don't think so.
But that's what it would be.
Well, Theo Mackey said today it would be like buying a Ferrari when you can't afford the rent.
Correct.
Same
thing.
Now, I think there are a lot of people out there that will tell you it's actually crazier to take Ty Simpson at 3 than Jeremiah Love, because Jeremiah Love is one of the best players in this class. Jeremiah Love is somebody that would make an impact right away for the Cardinals. He's a great player. There's no denying it. And not at any point in this process have I said Jeremiah Love's not a good player. At no point have I said that Jeremiah Love isn't a player worthy of going in the top 10. I have always said the Cardinals are not ready to draft Jeremiah Love, because by the time if you draft Jeremiah Love in the first round of this draft, you're saying in the next 3 years, we're going to make a run. In the next 3 seasons, we're going to make a run to the Super Bowl. And we're going to have peak Jeremiah Love as part of that process. Well, I can tell you right now, they're not doing it next year. They don't have a quarterback right now, so you're showing me I've never seen that before. No. It's great. I'm glad that you did that research for us, but no, I've never seen that before. It's funny, and it's a perfect analogy for this situation, but no, I've never seen it.
That is what taking him at 3 is.
I tend to think so.
Now, from a public standpoint, it will look better for the Cardinals to the public
to take Love than Simpson.
Simpson because of where they're evaluated and where they're mocked.
And for I would say 85% of the people that listen to this show that aren't every day in the weeds in the NFL draft, they just go with what Mel Kiper and Daniel Jeremiah and Todd McShay say, and they say Ty Simpson's not a first-round quarterback. They say Jeremiah Love may be the best player in this class. And so in their mind, that goes, well, the Cardinals can't make a mistake if they take Jeremiah Love.
And those things might be true. But in the NFL, there is a reason it's been done a specific way for the last 40 years, and it works. The people who win Super Bowls don't take running backs at the top of the draft.
I honestly don't have a problem with taking a running back high in the draft. They're not
If it's
ready.
your last piece, look what, and I thought it was a mistake when they did it. But look what Detroit did when they took Jahmyr Gibbs. The offensive line was being built out. They were getting better. They felt like they could take that next step forward with Jared Goff. They had Amon-Ra St. Brown. The defensive side of the ball was getting better. They had 2 picks in the first round to do so. They also took him 9 spots later at number 12, and I thought that was too much at the time. And I was wrong, because Jahmyr Gibbs is unbelievable and maybe the best running back in football.
Let's use the Lions example. These are the drafts, and these are the notable players selected in the drafts by Brad Holmes, who was the GM who took Gibbs, before they took Gibbs. 2021, Penei Sewell, number 7. They got Aleem McNeil at 72. Amon-Ra St. Brown at 112. 3 good players, right?
Yep, hit.
In 22, they took Aiden Hutchinson. They took Jamison Williams. They took Kirby Joseph. They took Malcolm Rodriguez, who's been really good for them. That was 2022.
Yeah, I mean, the worst out of that 4 is Jamison Williams, and he just had 1,000 yards.
And by the way, in 23, also in the draft that they took Gibbs, They took Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch with their next 3 picks. Yeah. So Brad Holmes kind of good at this drafting thing.
100%.
Is Monty good at this drafting
I
thing?
thought Jack Campbell was, again, same thing I thought with Jahmyr Gibbs. It's like, man, they drafted good players, but the Lions still don't know, positional value. I couldn't have been more wrong.
When they took Gibbs, they had the quarterback that they believed in and trusted.
Correct.
They had an offensive line that they had been building out over the past couple of years, and with the Penei Sewell pick. They had a number 1 wide receiver in Amon-Ra St. Brown. They took who they thought was their number 2 wide receiver in Jamison Williams to pass draft. They felt like their defense, they got their pass rusher. At that point, they had quarterback. They had edge. They had left tackle. They had wide receiver. They had 4 of the 5 pillars, if not all 5 pillars built out. So that's when you can start to do stuff like this.
At that point in time, you had a franchise edge rusher, a franchise left tackle, a quarterback that just because of age, you wouldn't consider maybe a franchise guy, but a guy to take these next few steps for your franchise to move forward. And then you had a receiver who you took in the 3rd round who had showed flashes of being one of the best route runners in football at the time. And if you could just take a small step forward, we could unlock. You had pieces all over the place coming off a year where you could see it and you fought for a playoff spot in the last day.
That's the difference. And that's why I can't get on board with it, because the Cardinals aren't at that point. Now, is this a smokescreen? Is this the Cardinals now leaking once again their love of Jeremiah Love to try to get somebody to move up? Is this them trying to play the game after what the Giants did over the weekend? Or is this serious? Now, I said to you in the morning meeting today, this feels very similar to the Ty Simpson thing for me, where this isn't something that's breaking late. This isn't the Arville, Reese, David Bailey stuff from the Jets in the last couple of weeks. This isn't, some late breaking. The last time something broke this late that turned out to be true that I can vividly remember is on the day of the draft, everybody started talking about Baker to the Browns. Right? That was the last time something broke this late.
But even then, that was the number 1 pick.
Right.
They don't need a smokescreen. They're picking 1.
This feels more real than a smokescreen to me. But here's what I will say. I find it hard to see a scenario. I don't think it's impossible, but I feel like it's hard to envision a world where they take Love at 3 and still get Ty Simpson.
Yeah, I don't see it as possible. I think it's Simpson or Love. And by the way, Michael just said it on the YouTube chat, and I agree with him. Puts people in seats, sells jerseys. How much do you care about winning? How much do you care about selling new jerseys?
But you need to win in order to sell jerseys. You need to win in order to. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I have to buy a Jeremiah Love jersey if he gets selected, right?
Yes, that is correct. Can I ask you a question, though?
Please.
Atlanta sells jerseys. They sell Bijan Robinson jerseys up and down the city of Atlanta, across the country.
Yep.
They suck.
Yeah. It doesn't mean anything. And the way to put butts in seats for the long term is to win games. That's it. That's what you do. You want to put people in seats. You want people to renew their season tickets. You got to win football games. Sure. Can you get a 1-season bump from Jeremiah Love? Maybe. I don't know if it would be that significant, but maybe.
But did Ashton Genty give the Raiders a 1-season bump?
No, but it wears off if you go 4-13. It wears off.
Novelty of having Ashton Genty in Vegas, the fun of having Ashton Genty in Vegas, nobody cares anymore. Who cares?
Now, they have the number 1 pick, and they're going to get Fernando Mendoza, and so they're going to have a ton of buzz. But quarterback is different. So, to me, if they're going to do Love and Simpson, they're going to have to trade out of 3 and get him someplace else, and I just don't know how likely that is.
And you cannot take Love number 3rd overall.
No, I just don't think it's the right decision. I think he'll be a great player. I think he'll be productive, but I don't think it'll help them win more games.
This, to me, you look at Love, and I see one of those teams in that 15 range that maybe moves up a couple spots, or Tennessee takes him. And listen, they're not ready for Jeremiah Love either.
Hold on a second. I just thought of something. Remember in 23, where Monty went from 3 to 12
And then back to 6.
And then he went back to 6.
You think they do that?
Could he make the trade with the Cowboys?
From 3 to 12, jump to 8?
Go from 12 to wherever he feels he needs to get Love, and then he takes Ty at 20.
Yeah, that is the only
way they do it.
That is the only way they do it. If I could get from 3 to 12 with Dallas and then use a third, because at that point, you would still feel like you have 34 probably. But if you still have 34, could I move then from 12 to 9? I don't think Kansas City wants to move out. I think they want a receiver.
I think they want to take Jeremiah Love.
They may want to take Love. Right? Like, could I get to New Orleans may be interested in taking Love.
So I got to talk to
Washington.
At 7? Yeah, I got to talk to Washington at 7.
And my argument was...
But Tennessee could take him at 4. The Giants could take him at 5.
Can I be honest with you? The Cardinals are going to trade from 3 with the Cowboys to get to 12 and 20. They're then going to assess how 4 and 5 go.
And that will determine...
Cleveland won't take him at 6 because they took 2 running backs last year.
So then that's the spot you can get up to?
So then if I need to, I can get to 7.
So you can
because I have Cleveland's pick.
You could just copy-paste your homework from 2023 and just do the same 2 trades.
Same 2 trades and pick up 20 in the process.
And pick up 20 in the process.
And then
that's your Ty Simpson
from
spot.
3 to 6. And now I have Ty Simpson.
I have Ty Simpson and Jeremiah Love.
Correct.
I can wrap my head around that. If you're going to get Jeremiah Love and Ty Simpson, it makes it way more palatable for me.
I think it makes it more palatable. I'm wondering, do I get anything else other than 20? Would I pick up? Probably wouldn't pick up a single other asset.
Now, to be fair,
you might lose an asset in that. Like in trading back from 3 to 12 and 20, I think you pick up a third along the way,
right,
too.
But at the end of the day, you're getting the quarterback that you love and the running back that you love, right? The 2 players that you love in the team.
Correct. If you love them.
You love them, you go get them. Now, Code brings up a very interesting alternative, and he says that we're overthinking this. Just take the best offensive lineman at number 3, which is another way that you could do this.
If we thought they were gonna do this, I'd be watching offensive line tape all week long.
Code, is there anything about what you've heard about this team over the last 2 weeks that makes you think they're taking an offensive that they're staying at number 3 and they're taking an offensive lineman if they do?
Can I be honest with you though? Is this the year I've watched these guys? Is this the year I want to take the offensive lineman at 3?
No, I would rather trade out, I think. Which is why Schefter's reporting that that's what they want to do.
Because I look at Maui Noah.
You think he's a guard. I think he can play tackle.
And I look at Fano.
You think he's a guard too. I think they both can play tackle.
And I see Will Campbell. And maybe I have PTSD from what happened last year, but you don't think teams in the league are looking at this and saying, hey, look what happened in New England last year on the 3 biggest games on the planet.
Just a reminder for everybody, because I'm seeing more of this in the YouTube comments today. Producer Evan and I going through this thought exercise doesn't mean this is what we would do if we were sitting in the chair. We're just exploring what we think is possible considering all of the news about this team right now. Yes, we would take an offensive lineman. We would take a pass rusher, and we would entertain the idea of trading back into the first round.
I want to be very clear on what I would do. Take Arvell Reese. Move on.
Right.
If I'm picking at 3, I want an edge rusher that's going to change my franchise.
No, I agree. I'm with you. But I just think
it's always what I want. Because to me, that has the big outside of quarterback.
But everything else is pointing us in the other direction.
Yes. All the reporting, they're not doing any of that.
Right. So we have to talk about what we think they're going to do.
And again, to quote Mel Kiper when speaking about the Colts, this is why the Cardinals are always, this is why the Colts are always picking at the top of the draft. Referring, right? Like,
yeah, no, I hear you. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us. And we're going to have a lot of these conversations here over the next couple of days. So I'd love to hear from you on it. You can also chat away with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream.
I love the draft.
Oh, the draft. Best time of year this week. One of the best weeks of the year. When we come back, are we worried about Geraldo Perdomo? That's next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. is MMA Friday on the Sports Zoo with official UFC ranker Scott Lewis, brought to you by RT O'Sullivan's, your home for every UFC event. The Sports Zoo is the only show in the Valley that gives you 1 full hour of MMA every week, featuring Scott Lewis's official UFC ranking changes, fight predictions for every weekly event, shocking MMA stories, and more. So tune in every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. and then head to RT O'Sullivan's every Saturday to watch the fights. Go to RTOSullivans.com for a location near you.
Most pedestrian and bicycle crashes happen early morning or at night. The leading cause? Drivers failing to yield. Since 2010, traffic fatalities for people walking and biking have doubled in Arizona. So stay alert and watch for bicycles and pedestrians. There's no such thing as accidents. Learn more about the risks at azdot.gov/no accidents. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Department of Transportation.
Motley Crue, the return of the Carnival of Sins. September 16th, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. The Crew celebrates the 20th anniversary of Carnival of Sins. Motley Crue, with performances by Tesla and Extreme. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Motley Crue, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
If you're a fan of any sport on the planet, college or pro, then we are right where you want to be.
Place to come when you wanna have too much fun.
Real sports fans need a sports book powered by Hard Rock Bet. Follow the money line to Twin Arrows and too much fun.
Twin Arrows.
The best indoor tailgate party in Flagstaff with massive HD screens, cold drinks, game time food specials, and best service is at Arrow Sports Bar. After the game, get back in the game at craps, blackjack, and slots. Now that's too much fun.
The place to come when you wanna have too much fun.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Hey, it's Phil Shaver with HomeSmart, and I want to buy your house. I'm a local investor that buys homes for cash all over Maricopa and Pinell County. I buy inherited homes, nice homes, rental homes, homes that are behind on mortgage payments, and I even buy ugly homes that need fixing. Also, are you looking to get closer to market value for your house? As a licensed realtor, I've been able to buy and sell thousands of homes. Since I'm local, you can call me directly on my cell phone, 480-409-9999. Again, that's 480-409-9999. I don't work for a big corporation or hedge fund, so I can only buy 3 to 5 homes per month. There are no fees involved, and you can pick your own close date. The best part is I buy homes as is, so you don't have to worry about doing any repairs. Again, you can call me directly at 480-409-9999, or you can go to my website, gosoldaz.com. That's gosoldaz.com.
ASU baseball this Wednesday night right here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Sun Devils as they take on New Mexico State for another midweek matchup. Head coach Lee Bloomquist is ready to show that his team's strengths don't take weekdays off. Join the voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy, on the call live. It's ASU versus New Mexico State this Wednesday. Pregame at 6:15 p.m. and first pitch at 6:35 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS.com and the KDUS app.
When the Diamondback season began, we said there was a core four players in the lineup every single day that were going to drive the bus. It was Corbin Carroll, it was Ketel Marte, it was Gabby Moreno, and it was Geraldo Perdomo. Perdomo, fresh off of a top 5 finish in the NL MVP, a career year for Geraldo Perdomo, to the point where there were stories being written before the season that said he might finish as a top 3 shortstop in all of baseball. That's how good he was last year, and that's how great the expectations were on Perdomo going into this year? Well, so far, through 21 games, it is a 229 batting average. It is 1 home run. It is 5 RBIs. It is a WRC plus of 84. Just know that 100 is average. And last year, he had a 138 to just show you how far off of last year's Geraldo Perdomo he is. And then there was what happened on Saturday. Couple mistakes on the base paths, not keeping his foot on the bag during a double play attempt. Just stuff that you don't normally see Geraldo Perdomo do. Mistakes, blunders, miscues that Geraldo Perdomo, kind of the leader of this group, rarely makes. To the point, it was so bad on Saturday that Torey Lovullo gave him a day off yesterday. That Torey Lovullo said, I'm going to give him a day. Now, he played 161 games last year. He only had 1 game off all season. And Torey Lovullo felt like this was the time to get my shortstop a day off. He's hitting only 229 to start the year. He's making these mistakes now in the field. He needs a breather. He needs a mental day off. And so I ask all of you, what is your concern level for Geraldo Perdomo? Now, if we were just talking about the 229 average and the 1 home run and only the 5 RBIs, I would say my concern level is relatively low. He's walking within the normal rate. He walked 13.1% of the time last year. He's at 12.9 this year. He's actually striking out less than he did last year. So there are signs that his offense is going to turn a corner and he's going to break out. But it's the miscues in the field that make me wonder if this is something a little bit larger. If this is not just an offensive slow start for Geraldo Perdomo, that he's now pressing a little bit and he's taking it with him out into the field, onto the bases, feeling like he needs to do a little bit more because he hasn't been that MVP caliber player. And Torey kind of felt that within the last couple of days. And after the mistake-filled game on Saturday, decided, you know what? I'm going to give him a day off. I think on a 1 to 10 concern level, I would say I'm at about a 6 right now for Geraldo Perdomo. I don't think it's full-blown alarms, but I don't think it is a nothing burger. I don't think it is, it's just a slow start offensively. He'll figure it out. I think when you have a manager who knows his players better than we do, who has a shortstop that played 161 games last year and didn't get a day off basically ever, to give him a day off this early in the season makes me think that Torey sees something, that he's pressing a little bit, that he's doing a little too much. Now, this doesn't change how I feel about Geraldo Perdomo. I still think he's part of the core 4. I still think this team is going to need him to be close to the player that he was last year if they are going to be successful. And you know what? I would rather the decision be made now to say, you know what? It's early on in the season. And by the way, this is the benefit of the great start that the Diamondbacks had. Winning the first 2 games of this Blue Jays series, another series win in your back pocket. Doesn't it free you up as a manager to say, you know what, now I can get this guy a day off? If you were losing and you were pressing as a team and you're trying to find ways to win, you need your best guys out there, and you would rather kind of go down with Jerry in the lineup. But you've been winning a lot. It was a 4th straight series win. You're getting offensive contributions from some other guys. And so Torey was able to kind of read the room and say, you know what, I may not get this opportunity later on in the summertime. I may need Jerry out there if we're in a little bit of a rough patch. And so I'm going to utilize this Sunday. We've already won the series. He had some bad mistakes in this game. I'm going to give him a mental reset day. That's the perk of the Diamondbacks getting off to such a good start where they don't feel like they're pressing. And so you can get him this day off, and hopefully he's back at it tomorrow night against the White Sox, and he's all good. So I would say a 5 or a 6 right now, my concern level. But the Diamondbacks playing as well as they've had to start the season has given Torey the ability to try to get in front of this before it becomes an even bigger problem.
Yeah, and we're not even really at the first little marker of where everybody's at. A lot of people say the 40-game mark. We're just slightly over halfway there.
Memorial Day, right? Memorial Day.
Memorial Day, 40 games, like whatever any classic MLB reporter, insider, talking head on any show tells you, it's never at game 22 or 23. So, yeah, I am a little concerned because it has looked bad at times and inconsistent.
And they're just mistakes he doesn't normally make.
Correct.
That's the problem.
The concerning part is it's not like he's hitting into bad luck and it'll come back. He's been rung up a few times. These are mistakes that I haven't seen him make before. So that's a little concerning. On the other part, I do think he'll be himself. It's just going to take a little bit to get there.
And because they've played so well, Torrey's able to use yesterday as
bought myself runway.
Right.
I can get this plane off the ground a little bit later than I need to because I am 13-9 to this point through a 60-game stretch that I know is going to be a gauntlet.
Right. You were 13-8 going into yesterday when you made the decision to give him the day off, right? So you're feeling really good about the way that you started. And so that's why starting hot is, and let's compare it to what both of our teams are going through right now. You don't have that ability. You kind of have to work through it.
No,
guys are struggling.
100%.
Hard to get a day off when you've lost 11 in a row, or you're the Royals. You're the worst team in the American League. Like, we don't have time to try to fix it. Like, we got to just work
Clock
through
ticking
it.
already.
Right.
22 games in. The D-backs don't have that problem.
They don't have that problem. And so it's afforded them the ability to say, you know what, Jerry, we're going to give you a day off, reset, hit the mental reset button, get back at it against a White Sox team that, let's face it, it's a really good matchup for everybody in this lineup. Should be much better here starting on Tuesday. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, it is all the stories we didn't get to here today on the show. We call them the leftovers, and we get to them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Tom Izzo, Michigan State head basketball coach.
I've had more than a couple job offers in the NBA and looked at one last year with Phoenix, and former player Matt Ispia, and that was hard. That was a hard thing to turn down because, number one, I kind of wanted to go with him.
Wait, so they offered you the head coaching job?
Well, we talked seriously about it, let's say that.
Weekdays, 6 to 9 a.m. on KDUS AM 1060.
We're chatting with our guest, always safety first, 811 Megaphone Man.
Call 811 before you dig.
You never stray from your mission of letting homeowners, landscapers, and excavators know you should always call 811 before you dig.
Call 811.
Call for both small and big jobs. And 2 working days in advance?
811.
Any parting words? And I'm guessing they will be.
Call 811 before you dig.
Brought to you by Southwest Gas.
811.
The Gorillas, live in Phoenix. The Mountain Tour 2026. Performing at Mortgage Matchup Center, Friday, October 23rd. With special guests, Little Sims and Deltron 3030. Get ready to feel good all over again. The new album, The Mountain, is out now. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Come see us at Mark Mazda Scottsdale. Check out the all-new redesigned 2026 Mazda CX-5. Or you can receive 2.9% APR for 72 full months on some of Mazda's most popular models, like the 2026 Mazda CX-50 Hybrid.
Don't know what to do with your trade? We'll give you $8,000 minimum for any trade, no matter what shape it's in, as long as it runs based on the actual MSRP. And if $8,000 is the minimum, think what your good trade might be worth.
The name to remember? Mark Mazda. Mark Mazda. On approved credit plus 998.fee.
Every day begins with the promise of something new, a new perspective, a fresh start. At Banner Health, right here, right now, we're pioneering new ways to treat cancer with our own immune systems. We're among the first to treat Parkinson's with the patient's own cells. And we're a world leader in artificial heart implantation, all while training over 1,300 doctors every year. Impressive, right? It's just another Banner day. Banner Health.
Every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. is MMA Friday on the Sports Zoo with official UFC ranker Scott Lewis, brought to you by RTO Sullivan's, your home for every UFC event. The Sports Zoo is the only show in the Valley that gives you 1 full hour of MMA every week, featuring Scott Lewis's official UFC ranking changes, fight predictions for every weekly event, shocking MMA stories, and more. So tune in every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. and then head to RTO Sullivan's every Saturday to watch the fights. Go to RTOSullivans.com for a location near you.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060, wrapping things up, the leftovers, all the stories we didn't get to here today on the program. Do we want to grade the weekend winners?
Yes. We pull them up. Oh my! We're new to the weekend winners. I almost forgot. And your boy here, pretty well.
What?
I did pretty well.
I don't think that's accurate at all. You picked Ty Gibbs, who didn't win the race.
Okay.
You picked the Mets, who lost all 3 games and now have lost 11 in a row.
Cody Rhodes
was a big one for you. That was a big one. That's right. That was. Forgot about that one. So I was surprised by that, but you're right. That was a weekend winner for you.
And I was a little nervous there because Randy Orton came back. I watched a little, by the way.
Okay.
Ton of fun.
You are the only person who thinks that.
Why?
You
didn't like it?
As somebody who is
a wrestling fan,
a wrestling guy, I have been since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
That was tough.
Bad.
It was a tough watch with all of the ads and the pacing of the show and the matches. There were sometimes the ad breaks were longer than some of the matches.
Oh, really?
It was not good. No.
I didn't watch.
Yeah.
a lot
So,
of it.
and you're from the outside. You're not somebody who watches wrestling on a regular basis. So I'm not surprised that you see everything. You're like, oh, that looked fun. No, not fun at all.
Did your daughter like it?
It was tough because some of her favorites won. And then last night she was going for CM Punk and he did not win against Roman Reigns. And that there was almost going to be WrestleMania in the house. That's how mad she was. She was going to smash stuff. Yeah. So she was not happy that her guy lost. So it was mostly good, but it didn't end on a good note. So those were your weekend winners. You got one.
Yes.
I had Kyle Larson, who finished second. Did not finish in first. Tyler Reddick finished in first. I had Zach Gallen.
Correct.
I think technically a winner, but I did say he was going to go 7 scoreless. So that I didn't
wasn't great.
I didn't get that part.
I think I predicted his line almost perfect.
Probably. And then I think I had Roman Reigns as a winner.
You did.
So I got that one.
Yes, you did.
I think that was it, right?
Those are your 3 winners, correct. I have them written down. That's all you have. Unless you came up with another one I didn't think of.
No, I don't think so. By the way, can we mention it since we're here in the leftovers? I got a chance to watch the 3rd period of the Boston Bruins against the Buffalo Sabres last night.
Unbelievably awesome.
What riveting television that was.
Okay, so for those who didn't watch it.
4 goals in 6 minutes by the Sabres to win 4-3.
The Sabres netted 4 goals in 6 minutes to win 4-3, but we're down 2-0.
They were down 2-0 with about 9 minutes to go in the game.
Netted 3 in 4 minutes to go up 3-2, then add on an empty netter. Boston comes down, makes it 4-3.
Now, a reminder, Buffalo had not been in the postseason in 15 years.
Correct. That's their first playoff game since Game 7 of the 2011 first round.
There were points in the 3rd period where the fans were booing the power play and booing their own team. They hadn't gotten postseason hockey in 15 years. It took 2 periods for them to be like, you know what? We're sick of this already. They were booing them. Tage Thompson scored 2 goals. He scored the first 2 to tie it, and then they got the winner. And they win 4-3. And boy, if you're Boston, you had it. You had a chance to steal one.
As soon as they got one, that building was on fire.
Well, I'll tell you what. The moment they scored the second, as quickly as they did,
it felt over.
It was so over because Boston was spinning at that point.
By the way, maybe you didn't watch the Flyers got a win.
I did not get a chance to watch them. I did watch a little bit of Utah Vegas last night.
That series, by the way,
you want to talk about?
Was not very excited for that series. I think it's going to be a ton of fun.
WrestleMania continues in that series.
Correct.
Every single stoppage.
Very chippy.
There's guys pushing and shoving.
I have a question.
Did you see?
Is everybody here rooting for Vegas because
of the whole Utah thing? I don't know. There's a lot of people who will root for the players on Utah, so they probably want Utah to do well. I can't quote it perfectly because it would get us in trouble. But there was a player on Vegas at the end that said to Logan Cooley of Utah, "I'm gonna kill you in the next game." Like that's what he said to him. I can't say the first part of what he said because it's got a curse word in there. But he literally was like, "I'm gonna get you in the next game."
It was
like, "Get ready for game 2. I'm coming for you."
The end of that game was insane. I'm so excited to watch game 2. You got 4 games tonight, by the way.
Just the aggressiveness in that game in particular was crazy. It's gonna do it for us here. Monday edition of the program in the books. Jim Rome's coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody, have a great rest of your Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.
AM 1060 KDUS.